I'm Sharon Macklis at IDG, here with episode 68 of Do More with R. Generate PowerPoint slides straight from R, or create HTML presentation slides, also from R. There are lots of ways to share results of your R analysis: compiled reports, interactive apps, even in the body of an email. But sometimes you want a slide presentation. It's easy to generate one directly from your R code, complete with charts and graphs, right from an R Markdown document. Let's take a look. To create a PowerPoint from R, you need three things on your system: PowerPoint or OpenOffice, the R Markdown package, version 1.9 or later, and Pandoc version 2.0.5 or newer. Pandoc isn't an R package, it's not R at all. It's a separate piece of open source software designed for file format conversions. RStudio ships with Pandoc, so you probably have a version of it installed if you use RStudio. You can run R Markdown's pandoc_version function to see if you've got it installed, and if so, what version. So let's take a look here. I'll load the R Markdown package. I'll see what version of R Markdown I have, and then what Pandoc version I've got. If your Pandoc is too old, try updating RStudio or install Pandoc directly from pandoc.org. Next, create an R Markdown document. If you do that from RStudio's menu with File, New File, R Markdown, you'll have a few choices. File, New File, R Markdown. If you click on that second choice, Presentation, there's an option right there for PowerPoint. So let's do that. Here's the result. If I save that and then knit it by clicking the knit button, you'll see what happens. So let's save that. We'll do that as test, replace test, knit it, and I've got a PowerPoint. You can see there are slides here that show you some basics of how to mix text and plots from R code in your R Markdown document. Little explanation. You can get slide with bullets, slide with R output, and a slide with a plot. So how did R know where to break the content into new slides? The default is the highest level of headline that's not followed immediately by another headline. So let's take a look at the R Markdown file and see what that's all about. Here we've got a couple of headlines with the 2 pound signs. So in this case, headline level 2 is the highest level of headline, and that's how the slides were broken down. If I were to change any of these headlines to 1 pound sign, then the slides would break only at those. So let's do that. I'm going to do slides with bullet as 1, slide with plot as 1, level 1. I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to knit again. And you'll see that it only broke with a couple of headlines. Also note that if you've got too much content for a slide, it will run off the slide edge. So you don't want to do that. You don't need to use that default rule, though. You can set what headline level to divide your document into new slides, and that's done in the document's YAML header with the slide_level option. So let's go back to this. I can actually change this. Oops, sorry. Citation, we need another colon here. And then I can just go slide level 2 and that would break up the slides by any level 2 headline and not the level 1 here. But if you don't want to fiddle with all that, you can divide content into new slides manually with 3 dashes. Just make sure the 3 dashes are on a completely new line, like this. So now let's look at an R Markdown file that's a bit more interesting, at least for me. Weather data. You can see I've got my slide title, my subtitle, the author, and I'm generating the date dynamically. The source file here, I'm importing a file I wrote with a couple of functions to get the latest forecast data from the National Weather Service API. If you're interested in details on those, check out this video's associated InfoWorld article. If you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the description. Notice the R chunk options I've set here. So echo is false because I don't want my R code to show up on my slides. And I also don't want any warning messages or messages at all to show up on my slide. Setting a figure width. Now here I'm setting cache equals true. I would never do this for a file I want to update regularly. I'm just doing that to save time on the video. Then I added some code to plot high and low temperature forecasts for 3 cities: Boston, San Francisco, and Honolulu. So let's knit that and see what happens. And here I've got my R plots in a PowerPoint. Ooh, kind of cold in Boston, moderate in San Francisco, and why don't I live in Honolulu? So every time I want an updated version of this, I just need to rerun the document. I could even set this up to run automatically using Windows Scheduler or Launch D on a Mac. Now, if you want a different default font or font size for your slides than what's on your system, you can set those with a referenced PowerPoint document and add that in your R Markdown document YAML header. So I did that for these slides. Let's take a look. Notice here I've got reference doc corporate style PPTX. That's a regular PowerPoint file and not a PowerPoint template. I just created a new document in PowerPoint, went into the master slide view and set some styles. You can see that I called it corporate style, even though this is not my corporate style. You just need to go to View, Slide Master, and then you can edit these how you want. So this is all great if you specifically need a PowerPoint document. One thing it lacks, though, is interactivity. For example, you can't roll over the graph and see any of the data. You could if these were HTML slides, though. There are a few ways to generate HTML slides from R. One of the most popular is with the Jargon R package. Jargon is built on top of the Remark.js JavaScript library. It's got a bit of a learning curve to do more than the basics, but the look and feel are extremely customizable. Jargon would need its own video series to cover all you can do with it. And honestly, I'm not a power user yet. But I can show you a pretty basic version of a Jargon R Markdown file using mostly defaults. See title, subtitle, the date the same. Now I've got the output Jargon using the Moon Reader, which is a dynamic way to see your slides as you're working on them. A few styles here. And 3 dashes gives you a new slide. But this first slide after the title slide won't actually display. It's setting defaults for the other slides. Layout : true means this is a slide setting up layout defaults. And class : center sets everything, header text, graphics, centered, unless I specifically code it otherwise. Next, I'm using one of my favorite DataViz packages, eCharts4R, to create a function to graph my weather data. Let me knit this file and open the results and see what happens using my getInteractiveGraph function. We'll knit that. Let's open it up into a browser. And you can see I've got an interactive HTML version now. There's a ton more you can do with Jargon, from adding your own CSS file to creating your own theme to adding animations. I've included links to a few Jargon resources in this video's associated InfoWorld article. So that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. For more R tips, head to the Do More with R page at bit.ly/domorewithR, all lowercase except for the R. You can also find the Do More with R playlist on YouTube's IDG Tech Talk channel, where you can subscribe so you never miss an episode. Hope to see you next time. Stay healthy and safe, everyone.